And then y'all say that it's black people's fault that we sold drugs. And we was killing each other with the guns that we didn't even make or manufacture. The drugs that we didn't even place in our community. And most of the drugs that they took off the streets, that they locked black men up for 20 and 30 years, due to legislations and laws that was passed by Democrats, people that y'all look up to. They were locked up for 20 and 30 years. These drugs that they took off the streets, that was placed inside of that evidence room, was placed back on the streets by the same plants and agents. Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, these are globalists. These are plants that were placed before us to help push their agenda. As long as they can circulate crack cocaine in our communities, as long as they can circulate guns in our communities that we never manufactured. Think about all the guns that we didn't make that took black lives. Think about all of the Planned Parenthoods that took black babies. Think about all of the alcohol and the cigarettes that are in stores ran by foreigners who are not from America, that the Democrats give incentives to, let them cross the border, give them food stamps, and cause chaos in our communities, because this allows their jail systems to keep running, their prison industrial complex to keep running. They benefit off of this. And y'all talking about some Kamala Harris will be good for y'all when this woman is a part of the agenda of keeping the borders open so sex trafficking can keep going, trafficking of children can keep going, guns and drugs keep pouring into our borders. Y'all need to think. The principle has been lost within us. And we don't even know what's good for us anymore because we're looking at an image, not the principle, not the moral values of the product in front of us. And just in case y'all didn't know, black people, before the civil rights, we had our own medical facilities, our own produce manufacturing companies. We had our own dental facilities. But then you had something called liberalism that came in. These Democrats who brought in democracy and told you that this will help you. And because they catered to your element and fed you false hope and told you that you didn't need your significant other, that you can do it on your own. They took your fathers out the home. They said that we're going to put you in a school with white folks. And when white folks turned y'all down, we're going to call it racism and have y'all start marching. But they was not wrong for not wanting us in our facilities when we already had our facilities. This might sound harsh. And y'all might say, well, what's going on with me? It's nothing going on with me. If we already had our own restaurants, our own schools, our own facilities of medical, assistance, why would we turn on our own systems just to go into somebody else's systems unless there was an agenda available for somebody else to feed off of? And this is why Martin Luther King said in his last days that he felt like he integrated his people into a burning house. Because we were doing just fine before the Democrats or democracy started to take place and run our communities, run our businesses. They shut us down. Soon as the democracy fell into place and Democrats took over, our businesses shut down. Black families split apart. Now we have the attitude that we don't need each other. We create this false narrative that we're all for self. Relationship is only to survive now, not for love. We have allowed a machine to come amongst us and split us apart, more so on black women's end. Because when this feminist thing came in, right, this changed the whole spirit and the soul of our teachers, our healers, and our mothers. Because this liberal shit, this democracy, told you that you didn't need something that God created for you. And so instead of you thinking, when they started locking your children's fathers up, you all should have said, you know what? Our black men don't make these guns. Our black men not pouring these drugs into their own communities. We got to stand up with our men. But instead, you did the opposite. And we would have never had done that to y'all. Never. And this is not to bring guilt upon anybody. But what I'm saying is, this thing that this democracy, right, has been poison to the soul of black people ever since it has been in manifestation. This democracy has been a poison to the soul of black people ever since it has been in existence. Everywhere democracy of America go, it suppresses wherever it goes. And when the word racism came into fruition, they knew that that element, that word would cast a spell to control the perception of the image of the people who bleed alike, who think, who move, and who seek self-preservation and what we call life. They knew that the word racism would turn people against each other, even though the difference in these people was genetic structure, DNA, and that was it. This thing is bigger than what y'all think. And they've used people with faces like ours to keep that perception and that agenda going. But it's time to wake up today and say, you know what? We're going on principle and moral values. Image politics will no longer control and enslave what we see. Because it's not what you see, it's what you know. Because what you know can keep things 10 years from now from occurring if you use what you know to control what you see beyond this point. You all may ask, why am I speaking on politics? Because anything that breaks up a unit of nature is a fight and a war against the spirit of that thing that it is going to war against. And I'll be damned if I continue to sit back and allow this to happen to our children, allow this sex war between the black man and the black woman to keep occurring, because this takes us outside of nature and is destroying things that is unseen. And sooner or later, if we don't wake up and stand up and see the importance within each other, then the spirit of connection that we have will relinquish. Let's save our children. Let's save ourselves. Peace.